What is going on? VitalSyntax here, and today I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide, kind of the basics of Counter-Strike Global Offensive for hopefully some new players that are either on the Xbox, PS3, or even the PC and Mac, whatever platform you're playing the game on. I just kind of want to give you guys some basic and kind of tips for new players. Now, I am by no means a seasoned veteran of Counter-Strike, and there's tons of people out there that have way more experience with this series than I do, so I'm probably not qualified to be doing this type of video, but I felt like I could still kind of chime in on what I've learned so far and kind of some of the pointers I can give to newer players. So the first one I want to talk about is playing with bots, and I think that every new player should definitely start out with this instead of trying to jump in and play with other players, because it's, especially if on the PC side of things, I'm not sure about the console, but on the PC side of things there's lots of very experienced players, and it can be very difficult if you run into a game or a party that has, you know, veterans of this series, because they are just going to destroy you, and it's going to be very hard for you to kind of get in the groove of the game and kind of get your head and hands around how to play this game properly. And so first, just go ahead and jump into a server or a game with bots on it. And you can also kind of get used to the maps and stuff too, because knowing the map and also knowing the game modes and stuff, because some of it's unique to Counter-Strike, or maybe you haven't played that type of game mode before, definitely is going to give you kind of an edge once you actually go online and play with other players. The next thing I want to talk about is controlling recoil, burst firing, and crouching. So make sure you have this set up on your keyboard or on your console controller so that you can access your crouch button easily. I switched it to C, I believe, from left control, just because I find it a little bit easier to use my finger than my pinky, or my first finger, index finger, than my pinky to just switch over to crouch mode, because you need to be using crouch a lot. Unlike in most first-person shooters, this game doesn't have an ADS mechanic, and the way you need to control your recoil is by bursting and also crouching. Now, you don't want to crouch in every situation. You kind of need to learn when to crouch and when not to crouch. And I would say, you know, at long range, if you're using some type of fully automatic gun, that's really where you want to crouch, because it's actually going to reduce your recoil and make it so you're a little bit more accurate. You can get more shots on target. If you're close range, then there's really no point in crouching. It just kind of depends on the situation. And also keep in mind that you can hold down shift on the keyboard and mouse. I'm not sure about the console side of things, to walk, which is number one, gonna make your footsteps silent, and which is very important for this game. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I learned kind of late on in my experience with Counter-Strike Source, was holding shift and being able to be silent and walk around the map without making any sound, which is really important. You know, sound whoring or hearing people's footsteps is key in this game, as is in a lot of other first-person shooters. Another thing you need to keep in mind is that you need to get used to the buy menu. The buy menu is essentially the menu at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the round, where you spend your money, buy your guns, buy your equipment. You need to do it quickly, because if you don't do it fast enough, then you're going to have a late start on the game, which is never good. So just kind of get used to what things you like to buy. Typically, most people stick to the AWP for sniping. It's a one-hit kill. Most people stick to the AK-47 or the M4 for assault rifles, and most people are using the Deagle for the pistol. Those are just kind of some general go-to guns, but once again, everybody's going to have a unique play style, so something might suit you a little bit better. And also make sure to spend some money on those grenades, because often I see some newer players that have tons of leftover money and they don't end up buying any flash grenades or high explosive grenades, which are actually really useful, especially those flash grenades. They are very powerful. Just make sure to not look in the general direction after you throw it, because you're going to get your flash yourself. Another thing that I think is very important is, if you do go full automatic, then you need to know that your bullets are not necessarily going to go within your crosshair, which is a really weird mechanic that took me a while to get used to. And really, you don't want to be going full automatic at all unless it's really close range. If you're at medium or long ranges, you know, burst or tap fire, just single shot basically, even with, you know, like a fully automatic weapon like an AK, because you're not gonna be able to hit anything if you go fully automatic, or even, you know, medium or long bursts. You want to do it very short, controlled bursts. But if you do go fully automatic at closer ranges, then what you want to do is actually kind of look where your bullets are going. They don't actually go. Let's say we're using the M4 and it's a 30-round magazine. If you're shooting like 20 rounds or even 30 rounds on full auto, then you're going to end up shooting above where your crosshair is actually aiming, which is kind of weird. It's something that I wasn't personally used to until I actually kind of noticed it and tried to correct my aim and get used to that. So essentially, if you're going Fallout at close range, aim at somebody's feet or at their knees, and you'll be hitting their chest, essentially, depending obviously on how close you are to them. Now also, you need to learn the different types of game modes. You've got basically 2 different main types of game modes that are in the classic type of thing, which is, one is the search and destroy, I guess you want to call it, if that's your cup of tea. That's essentially the counter, or the Call of Duty version, where you have attackers and defenders. Attackers are trying to plant the bomb and defend it until it goes off, and the counter terrorists are trying to prevent the plant of the bomb, or disarm it if it is planted. So just keep in mind what the objective is and play it and try and work as a team to win the round and essentially win the game. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, feel free to give me a like or favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.